Ren Zhengfei, the founder of Huawei, has once again issued a statement reiterating that Huawei does not make cars. The last time he did so was in November 2020, when he firmly instructed, Huawei does not make cars. Whoever suggests this may be removed from post. This time, Ren Zhengfei reiterated that Huawei does not make cars and added some details, such as not allowing the use of Huawei's logos, such as Huawei AITO. However, the statement ended with a validity period of 5 years. It is unclear whether this 5-year validity period includes the 2 years that have passed. If it does, Huawei will not be able to make cars until 2025. If not, Huawei will not be able to make cars until 2028. Ren Zhengfei, the founder of Huawei, has repeatedly emphasized that Huawei does not make cars. However, there is a great deal of internal disagreement within Huawei, and a group of Huawei employees, represented by Yu Chengdong, are eager to personally enter the automotive industry. However, currently, Huawei has suffered many setbacks in the automotive industry. Huawei's HI mode was a failed market attempt, and Huawei's intelligence selection mode led by Yu Chengdong is also struggling and cannot be called successful. So, does Huawei make cars? If not, what is Huawei doing now? The AITO series, a new energy vehicle brand launched by Huawei in collaboration with Series, has seen its sales fluctuate wildly. First, it soared, with delivery volumes exceeding 10,000 for 3 consecutive months. However, after breaking the 10,000 mark, the AITO series began to decline rapidly, with sales falling to 3,505 units, on the verge of marginalization. To boost sales of the AITO, Huawei has intervened aggressively, changing the AITO brand to Huawei AITO in its brand promotion. In some promotional posters, the AITO car was directly changed to Huawei car. To be honest, in my opinion, this is very unfair to Series. Series made the car, owns the AITO brand, and purchased technology from Huawei. When the AITO cars are sold in Huawei stores, Series has to share the sales with Huawei. But in the end, Series' brand name is being erased. I feel so sorry for it. If Series is just acting as a contract manufacturer for Huawei cars, shouldn't Huawei pay for the brand marketing expenses and procurement costs? Shouldn't Huawei be responsible for the technical design? But now, after working together for so long, Series has paid money and effort, and handed over its soul to Huawei. What has Series gained in the end? Is Series just a big victim? According to Huawei's smart car model, as well as cooperation with other car manufacturers such as BAIC, Chery, and JAC. If it is renamed Huawei Automobile, then do BAIC, Chery, JAC, and others need to pay for brand marketing expenses? Will Huawei have to pay OEM fees to BAIC, Chery, JAC, and other car manufacturers in reverse? Huawei cannot both act as a supplier, earn money from car manufacturers, and also use their money to create their own Huawei automobile brand, can they? In the first half of 2022, SAIC paid Huawei 1 billion yuan for advertising and service fees, and the result was the promotion of Huawei cars. It should be noted that in order to cooperate with Huawei and keep up with the trend of the new energy era, SAIC is expected to have a net loss of 3.5 billion to 3.95 billion yuan in 2022. If Huawei wants to change AITO Auto to Huawei Automobile, it will need to pay a brand loss fee to SAIC at least. If it is changed to Huawei Automobile, does SAIC still need to purchase Huawei's brand authorization fee? There is too much unfairness here, and it is a betrayal of SAIC's brand in itself. Ren Zhengfei reiterated that Huawei does not make cars and does not allow the use of brand names such as Huawei Automobile, Huawei AITO, just to reassure SAIC, BAIC, Chery, JAC, and other car manufacturers and make them feel at ease without worrying about being betrayed by Huawei. At the beginning, SAIC Group refused the soul of Huawei. From a business perspective, this was undoubtedly correct. Otherwise, if it were handed over to Huawei, like SAIC, then SAIC would have to work for Huawei. This working mode not only does not make money, but also incurs huge losses. If Huawei really gets involved in car manufacturing, it will be like being dumped by a scumbag after falling in love, losing both money and emotions, and ending up with nothing. Therefore, in my opinion, Huawei does not make cars is a solemn promise made by Huawei to its partners. However, Huawei has a history of this. Huawei once said it does not make TVs because Huawei HiSilicon is the largest chip supplier for Chinese TVs. However, later, Huawei released the smart screen. Is this smart screen not a smart TV? Anyway, Huawei says it is not a TV. Now, Huawei Automobile has reached a very sensitive moment. Yu Chengdong once said that Huawei Automobile is the only department within the Huawei group that does not make a profit. Yu Chengdong eagerly hopes that Huawei Automobile will become profitable soon. However, Huawei's direct customers are not car owners, but car manufacturers. Just like Huawei's cooperation with SAIC, they make money from SAIC. Purchasing Huawei's technical services is not cheap, and SAIC, which has handed over its soul, has almost no bargaining power. It is precisely because of this that GAC has cancelled its cooperation with Huawei Smart Car and downgraded Huawei to an ordinary parts supplier. Why did GAC terminate its cooperation with Huawei Smart Car? There are three main reasons. Firstly, GAC is already strong enough and does not need to sell its soul to Huawei. GAC's new energy vehicle brand, AION, sold 270,000 vehicles in 2022 and is valued at over 100 billion yuan, making it the largest unicorn in China's new energy vehicle industry. In February of this year, AION sold 30,000 vehicles, while Huawei sold only 3,500 vehicles with its own AITO brand. AION's brand is doing better and is more popular, with a higher market share than Huawei's AITO. Without the Huawei halo, AION is doing just fine on its own. Secondly, Huawei is too expensive, while AION is taking a low price route. AION's two best-selling models, the AION S and AION Y, both have a starting price of no more than 150,000 yuan, and around 100,000 yuan. By contrast, the Huawei SAIC GM joint venture's 1Gear M5 has a starting price of over 250,000 yuan, and the 1Gear M7 starts at 280,000 yuan. The AITO 11, a car co-developed by Huawei with CATL, Chang'an, and other partners, starts at 319,900 yuan, and the Jiuhu Alpha S, co-developed by Huawei and BAIC, starts at over 200,000 yuan, with the Huawei HI version starting at 397,900 yuan. These cars are all too expensive. In the mid to high-end market, AION has launched a self-developed brand, Hyper Haobo, suspending cooperation with Huawei. Without Huawei's markup, the automaker can have more pricing power by doing everything on its own. As one insider at GAC put it, as a major company, Huawei has almost all the bargaining power. Without bargaining power, there is no pricing power. If Huawei makes a profit, GAC must make a profit too, which makes it difficult to control the price. Normal brand owners will try to use multiple suppliers to lower the cost of components. But Huawei, as a supplier, is not the same. Without bargaining power, the alliance between the two companies actually weakens market competitiveness. Thirdly, GAC has its own money, talent, market, time, and patience to go down the full-stack self-developed path. With AION as its foundation, GAC is doing better than Huawei in the new energy vehicle industry. While AION is taking a low-price route, Hyper Haobo is targeting the mid to high-end market, copying the route of Geely, Great Wall, and BYD to take control of its own destiny. In the tide of the new energy transformation era, Huawei is not the savior of SAIC GM or any other automaker. Fair and honest cooperation between enterprises is most important. National sentiment is a bonus, but not a must-have. Okay, that's all for today. Do you want to learn about more auto stories? Thank you so much for your continuous support. Your precious time with us is highly appreciated. See you.